Ready or not, ladies and gentlemen, we're back.
Here we are.
Here we are. We were just checking Jeff's ear out for some crazy cockroaches, but alas, there were none available.
Available?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I was doing with that. But anyways, as I said before the break, we are going to discuss the old P word, politics.
So excited.
Yeah,
I
don't
will
even
admit,
know that
Joe,
I'm excited.
I will admit I'm not a politics guy, Joe.
Well, and
I was recently pulled into the whole politics thing because
Sure.
of the I think it was an important election.
yep.
And I think everybody kind of got into it because there were such polarizing sides. And which is good because it got more American interaction, you know, because otherwise,
People
I know when Obama first ran, it was the whole black president thing, and that got a lot of people involved, younger voters, all that kind of stuff. So that's good.
The cool kids.
I think it's good that, different things pull more engagement out of the American people.
Yeah.
But what I don't really like is how this election has now almost split us as a country.
Yeah.
And so I voted for Hillary. I've always been kind of a Democrat.
Sure.
I took one of those survey things that said, "Tell me your views."
You are a Democrat.
Tell me your well, it tells me tell your views and how blah blah, and it pumps out a candidate. Hillary makes sense. I'm not 100% behind everything, but
Yep.
and I didn't vote for her because it's a lesser of two evils. None of that. But at the same time, when she lost, I said, well, Trump's got 4 years to prove me wrong, basically, and do the right thing, because essentially he's still our president. There's nothing I can really do about it. Now, for those out there protests and all this other stuff, yeah, you can do that. But really, there's nothing. I don't have the power to just say, okay, Trump's not the president anymore, or whatever. So I put my faith in the system, the faith in the, we have three branches of government. Hopefully they can check each other, even though, Republicans own that anyway, too. But anyway, so that is my viewpoint. So I'm just going to start it off with that. Otherwise,
now we know.
Otherwise, I try not to get involved. I know a lot of my friends on Facebook either hate each other, and I think a lot of people post stuff just to get reactions. I think sometimes
That could be.
I've only chimed in one time, and that was because somebody posted something not of their own, but like it's somebody else, like some website or Facebook post something, and you share it on your page or whatever. So it wasn't his his thought or whatever, but it basically. For those of you who don't know, I believe it was the Democrat Party that branched off at a certain point. They switched or whatever.
It's probably the Bernie.
Or is it the Republican Party that split? Because it was.
Are you talking years ago?
Yeah, like long time ago. So essentially, I know I looked it up at the time because I knew I was right.
Yeah.
But he had posted something about how the Democrats did this, and this, and this, and it was like, well, that was before when the two parties were one.
Yeah.
And then after that, they branched off. I was like, you don't know what you're talking about. Like I didn't want to be mean. I was just like, you don't understand. There's this huge thing here that you're missing out on.
Yeah.
And that was I was just trying to save him because then everybody else was like, dude, and then at the end he basically just deleted it because it was he knew that he had messed up.
Yep.
And it's unfortunate because he just saw something that somebody had posted. He thought, oh, that's kind of cool. I'll post it on my wall or whatever. But I was like, dude, you're looking really bad right now.
Yeah. And this is exactly why I wanted to bring it up. It is literally a hot topic. I mean, there is nothing you cannot get away from the political scene, no matter how far into the woods you bury yourself right now.
Correct.
Someone will helicopter and be like, "Hey, did you hear what happened today?" So I did just want to talk about politics in general. And as Jeff said, he just shared his views. I just want to read the definition of politics, which I think everyone should probably know this, but the activities associated with the governments of a country or other area, especially the debate or conflict among individuals or parties, having or hoping to achieve power. So basically, You run into politics everywhere you are. Whether you're at work, it's on the news, whether you're in a township, it's that struggle to get to the top. That's what politics is, Some people do it very quietly just by working hard and, keeping to themselves. Other people do it by stabbing people in the back and, doing it that way. But the way the world is right now, I have such a hard time with where we are. And granted, history always repeats itself, so it's not the first time we've been here. Shocker, for those of you out there who feel like this is such an amazing time. I'm sorry, but it's happened in all of the regimes. It's happened in all of the history books are chock full of unrest, and it's basically what changes and forces change upon a society, and it's a good thing. It's terrible at the moment, but it's always a good thing if the right people are involved. It's almost
so you're referring to like the French Revolution.
Revolutions, or even in Rome. How long was that around? Is 500 years? Is that how long Rome was around?
Sure, that's a good guess. Yeah, I have no idea.
But within that time frame, there were lots of ups and downs and turns and twists, but they ruled the world. In antiquity,
not the whole world, but yeah,
the sun never set on Rome. It's just like the sun never set on England. Because they also ruled the world at one point as well. Now America's taken its.
But they did. When you say rule the world, I think of that they owned every bit of land, and that's not true.
Well, all of the wealthy lands.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Uh-huh. So, and that's where we talked about it. Shit, I don't know. We literally it was right after the election, as a matter of fact, right after we found out who had won the election.
Yep.
And
we talked about it.
Yeah, we just it was literally a 5-minute. Little deal.
We try not to talk about something that's, I want to say controversial, because I'm not opposed to that, but
we don't want to put ourselves, pin ourselves up against, we don't want listeners to be like, oh, not listening to them, because that's what people do nowadays.
Yep.
They're like,
but they automatically hate you because of 5-minute conversation you have about politics.
Exactly. And that's not what I'm about. I don't think Jeff's about it. Jeff and I do disagree on the political scene.
And we talked about it for quite a while that one night.
I'm not going to sit there and be like, you know what? Fuck you. You're done.
I say that, but just behind Joe's back.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. He keeps coming back. I don't know. We tried to fire him once, and he still comes back. It's kind of really weird.
Yeah, that's funny. No, but I think that's the point, is that, like I said, even though my candidate didn't win, I'm still sitting here and I'm like, okay, let's try to make this work.
Yeah.
Because I'm just not you cause almost so much destruction trying to do the right thing, and at what point is it a negative?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Keep going. You were on a rant there. I don't want to.
Yeah, and I kind of want to bring people back to that. And I understand, you could almost be like, well, you're the sugarcoating that, is the world right now. Like, you don't really care what's going on. No, I do care. Mm. I really do. And I honestly think that the wrong person is in the office. I think,
Sure.
I am very much in the middle of a lot of things. I see a lot of left and right views, and I think it's absolutely ridiculous that we only have 2 major parties here in America. We're just too diverse and too vast to be dealing with 2 absolutes. It's one end of the spectrum or the other. It's no middle of the road. And if you are, you're criticized.
Mm. But anyway, for not having views on the other end.
Right,
yeah.
Right.
Can't be Switzerland,
Right. But I think that if people really do want change, if people really do want to make a difference in the world, you're not going to... I'm sorry. I'm not sorry at all. You're not going to get it done online.
100%.
You're just making enemies there, and also you're not allowing other people to speak their mind as well. We're all allowed to have our own thoughts. We're all allowed to have our own actions. If we do something wrong according to your standards, as long as it's not hurting someone or, damaging property or what have you, fine. Do your thing. That's why America is great, is because we are allowed to do those things. We're allowed to. I know people don't like capitalism, but let me tell you, you're not going to go to a communist country and each person, even the people on welfare, are enjoying capitalism right now. Okay, let me tell you that right now.
Yes. And we don't live in 100% capitalist system either, though.
No, we don't.
We don't. And that's
at
the
one
thing
point
is
we did.
Well, have we always had? Well, yeah, okay. In the beginning, yeah,
Yep.
You're right.
Before the Federal Reserve.
Yeah, and now we have programs like welfare, and we have programs like unemployment that do help those who do struggle. And yeah, I
And those are the right things too.
Now
we need those.
you're
for the people.
it's definitely based on capitalistic
Yeah,
ideas.
yeah. So I think the main part about this, like I wanted to just talk about, politics in general. There are a lot of hot topics right now that we could talk about, but I feel like, I'm going to go on a limb and say, what was it, 2008 or 9 when Governor Scott Walker was put into office and all that stuff happened. That's when I really started.
That was 10.
Was it 10? I know I was working at the place I'm working at now for a bit. And
at
the area I was working
no,
at,
it had to be way after. Wait, when he first got elected?
Yeah.
Okay, because I don't remember that. I remember the recall.
Okay. Yeah, no, this is...
because of the teachers thing.
Yeah. No, this is like right after he got into office.
Yeah, because I started at the current place of employment in 10, and I wasn't into it because again, it just didn't.
Sure, it was probably right around 10 actually.
Okay,
now that you say it.
Yeah, because the recall happened like in 14, I think.
Yeah,
because it's odd years for that, right?
I think so.
Because there's presidents and then there's governors.
I'm
pretty.
I don't
sure
pay
it's
attention
odd.
to politics.
We don't know what the hell we're talking about, folks.
But yeah, I just it was one of those things where it was first off thrust into everyone's face. Not only that, but social media was actually a fairly new tool at that time for the political scene. I remember when I jumped on Facebook and it was a blast. People are making fun of each other, jokingly, people are, just sharing what they ate for dinner. People were, sharing random pictures
of kids.
Now it's toxic. It's absolutely, all we're doing is polarizing ourselves, and then we're not accomplishing anything, thus allowing the beings in power to do whatever the hell they want. Okay, ladies and gentlemen? There, I just said it. We are fighting amongst ourselves, allowing the criminals at the top to do whatever the hell they want. So, let's all band together, be one giant force, and they have to listen to us. Okay? Jeff's over there shaking his head. He's actually not, but he's got that shit-eating grin on his face like,
I don't know what like
Joe.
I'm just not that passionate about it, I guess. I don't know. I'm one of those people that I kind of give up on it. Like I'm just like, look, I put my vote in, I did what I could, and now it's just kind of like, what do you want me to do? I don't have the time, I don't have the finances to do something drastic or crazy, like go march on this or that or whatever. I don't know what else to do. The system is that you vote for what you want, and if you lose, you lose, and you graciously accept it, and you kind of grin and bear it for 4 years or 2 years or whatever. And so my thing is, look, I'm here. I'm gonna keep doing my thing, and in the end, I hope that we get it right. Mm-hmm. And there's so much corruption involved with everything, and like you said, the crooks. And I agree, there's a lot of money in politics. That's why rich people get involved with politics. Yeah, because it only makes them richer.
Exactly.
And it's not a good system, but you think these politicians are going to change the laws so that they don't become richer? You know what I mean? It's a system that
I totally.
Especially if all of a sudden I won the lottery, you think I'm going to vote to have more taxes come out of millionaires' pockets?
Right.
Of course not.
Mm-hmm.
Like but that's the whole point of a capitalistic system, that if you're presented with an opportunity to become a politician, you get money out of it. That's capitalistic, in my opinion. Now, if you want to separate the capitalistic ideas out of the government idea, out of politics and stuff, and say they should be separate, I do agree. But at the same time, if I'm a huge, let's just say, pill pushing company, whatever, and I have Joe Horstmeyer here who's running, and he's very charismatic, and he's dirt poor. I give him a whole bunch of money. He's probably going to help me out in the end. Why wouldn't I do that? It's capitalistic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The money makes this whole thing go around, and everything is in the whole world. So it's banging your head against the wall, hoping for, I don't understand.
Yeah. You are hoping for a miracle at this point, and that's where ever since I was a little kid, you grow up watching the Revolution movies and, the the you can make a difference type stuff, and also the millennials were just punched right in the face with all that, like, you matter.
Yeah, you can do big things. Yeah.
Well, now of course we're all grown up and we're like, well, what the fuck? What's going on?
And the generation behind us doesn't seem to give a shit.
Yeah, exactly.
And now we kind of start to care, and they don't. And
Yeah. So I just feel like I don't care who's at the top, and again, I'm probably going to get a look from Jeff, but I dislike them all. Like, there are bigger forces pulling the strings, and this is getting into
you can't hate them all.
stuff.
I mean, you can't make general vast things.
I do. Anybody who's in a political
So you hate
seat,
Bernie Sanders then?
I dislike him.
Who were you going to vote for? Who'd you vote for in the presidential election?
Nobody on the ballot.
But you hated that guy that you told me that the guy you wanted to win the Republican Party, right?
No.
Kressich.
No.
Didn't you vote for like the Green Party guy then or something?
No.
I'm just saying,
I wrote somebody in.
You hate that guy.
No. I voted for someone who's not a politician.
You voted who's not a politician that was running for president?
A friend of mine.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
That's just it. It's like we need all of Congress needs to go away. I'm not saying get rid of Congress. I'm saying we need to put in average Joes in there.
And okay. I'm listening. Go ahead. Finish your
We need
thought.
to get an actual leader in there, someone who rallies people, not a certain group of people, but all people. Yeah. We need to get someone. We need to get groups of people in there who are not bought out. We need to get rid of that idea, just like what you said.
No,
I mean, we need to get back to where. I mean, why do we pay congressmen? Why? It should be a civic duty.
But how do
get a job?
Okay, but okay. Let's just say they picked you.
Okay.
So you don't want any salary.
No.
How are you going to live?
I'd have a job.
So you're telling me I'm going to trust the entire world to a guy who does it part-time?
Yes.
No.
Because
I would rather give somebody.
They care. It should be based off of.
It should be less money. It should be less money. It should be. What if I gave you $75,000?
Still too much.
No.
20,000 maybe.
I do not want the guy pushing the button to bomb Korea to like get off of a hard day's work at Factory X and be like, I'm just fucking sick and tired. I just want to sit down, do whatever the fuck we want, and hit the button and go.
But we have a guy in there who does that right now. And he's a billionaire.
Yeah, but he's doing it. At least he's spending a couple of minutes, a couple of hours, hopefully.
Are you sure?
I'm just saying, Joe, I know what I feel like. You know what it's like working a 40-hour day. 40-hour week.
Like working.
It sucks. And now you want to figure to do that and still run the country. That's not possible. You have this. It's super idealistic, but it's not possible. And there has to be. I want the guy making major decisions to spend a little bit more time than.
Well, okay, I get that.
So you've got Miranda and you've got Mia and you got your dog and you got a 40-hour job. How much time are you putting into researching just this podcast?
Probably about 10 minutes.
There you go. So now you want to figure out that the 10 minutes you have, now you're going to lead the whole country based on that 10 minutes. Now, granted, you would think it'd be more responsibility and all that. And but you're giving up all your weekends with your family.
Yeah. But that's the point, though. Is that
you're going to ruin your life by going into politics.
Everybody who's in politics ruins their life.
No,
well, actually, they don't.
They make it
come
better.
Out better.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is bullshit.
You have to be able to pay. Same with the priest.
But they're not doing what's best for the people.
Same with the priest.
They're not doing what's best for the people, though.
But you think that $75,000 is going to corrupt them? That's bullshit. People make more money doing. People will probably not want to become a politic, and it's probably other people then who will do it, or they'll get side deals or something. You know what I mean?
But that's just it. We need to get rid of those side deals. Yeah, that's what needs to go away.
You know what? Ask a college kid how he picked his college where he's playing pro ball.
I get that, yeah.
Money's like
Which
that
again is
comes
bullshit.
underneath. Yes. Yeah. But I'm just saying, I think your idea is almost causing it to become where it would become a problem, because if I'm sitting here and I'm making, let's say I make $50,000, plus I got to do my normal job, plus take with my kids, plus do this other stuff, it'd be a lot nicer if somebody just gave me a couple of extra bucks to make my life a little easier.
Sure.
Do you know what I'm saying? You got to look at it from that way too.
Yeah, I get that.
You can't have it where you've got everyday Joes are working at a factory or garbage man pickup in Washington, D.C., and they get off their shift and they put on their suit and tie and walk into the office and spend 2 hours before they go home and spend time with their family.
But it should be a sacrifice to run the country because you're doing it for the greater good. And right now, the people who are doing it, it's not a sacrifice, and they're not doing it for the greater good. They're doing it for themselves.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I think that
then
that's...
the way I said it and think about it is wrong.
No, I'm not saying you're wrong. I just don't think it's feasible. Yes, I believe that the people in power and the people in Congress, it would be great if they had the same morals of an everyday person. Because that's what everybody tries to say, right? Hillary Clinton, all these other politicians. I'm just like you. I'm an everyday person, and you know that's BS.
Well,
we all know it's BS,
yeah.
right? But the idea, though, is that you have to have somebody who at least has some education. I mean, there are a lot of people I work with that I would not want to be a congressman.
Well, and they wouldn't get voted, hopefully, because look at all the people that we do vote
exactly.
in there, which is bullshit.
That's what I'm just saying is that the system we have now is just like any other system we'd have because there's still loopholes, there's potholes, and there's problems with it in there too. My thing is all we have to do is get 51% of them to be, right, or 75 or whatever it is. Because that's my thing is that with the current situation, as long as everybody starts realizing, okay, we're going a little overboard right now. Let's reel back and common sense has to start coming into place eventually. Where even if you are one party or another, you kind of have to eventually say, look, this isn't going to work. Like we have to be smart about this. And maybe it is having somebody like that who's so over the top that it pulls everybody else together against him. And I don't want to say against him because, again, I don't want this whole thing to be a Trump bashing thing.
Well, and I think that
because Joe's all about he hates everybody. I'm just more positive about it.
Well, and believe me, I want the best for our country, so I don't want these people up top to be, doing this stuff. I think that another thing too, which a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, I can't believe Trump did that. I can't believe he did that. Well, guess what? Obama was doing the same thing. The president of the United States has way too much power right now. That's not how it was intended to be. A lot of this came out of Bush. A lot of it came out of the Iraq War.
A lot of that has to be ratified by...
Yeah, and it was, which is the toxic, terrible thing.
Well, that's the problem. The one thing I don't like is how the Republicans are president, how the Speaker of the House, and I think they own the House of Representatives.
They own it all right now, yes.
And that's what it almost is. The three branches are essentially one. I mean, it's just...
Right. And that's where, guess what, America? We did that. It's because we sat idle for too long. No one was listening. No one's caring. And if you did, okay, let's say the whole entire 8 years of Obama, everything was going your way. And Obama had all these great, executive power orders and things like that, which some of them were good. Some of them I was like, oh, my God. But at the end of the day, he has too much power. Now, guess what? You, as a party, are now giving that power to the most insane man.
They didn't give the power away. They didn't choose to.
They did by electing Hillary to run against him.
But we, the people, chose. We, the Republican Party or Democratic Party, chose Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, and the Republican Party also chose Donald Trump.
Because they knew he was so different from everybody that
right.
And that's what the people wanted. They wanted somebody who was different, who wasn't tied down to all this other stuff. But yet you have to realize he's tied down to everything just the same way.
Sure. And what I'm getting at is that we need to get back to where it is decided by Congress. It is decided by the House. It is decided by the American people. The American people need to get on the phone again and call the representatives and say, I don't like this. No one does that anymore unless you're...
because I don't think people think it works.
Because it doesn't work.
Well,
because
so you're
you
telling
don't have
people,
enough money. Average Joe, or I don't want to say that because that's what was used on the campaign trail, but the everyday American does not have the money to buy out that fucking politician anymore.
Yeah. Or they don't have the time either.
Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Your voice doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
Which sucks.
Well, the problem though is you're like, yeah, I hear all this stuff. Here's your politician's phone number. Here's their email address. All this other stuff. Write to them and do all this stuff. And yet, I'm thinking to myself, it won't matter. And then you turn around and say, yeah, it doesn't matter. So,
but that's my point. I know is that it needs to matter,
but it doesn't, and that's the problem.
So how do we change that?
Well, we either have to elect people who do care, which will never happen. See, what I
It has to, though. It has to change
why does it have to change?
to be a successful country.
But who cares?
You have kids, right?
Yeah,
Do you
Joe.
want
But that's
them
what I'm
to grow
trying
up
to
in
tell
the
you.
shithole that is
Joe,
America?
Joe, you have this super idealistic thing that things are wrong and you want it to be better, and I applaud you on that. But my mind is not. We can't get out of that cycle. It's going to be that way forever. And I don't see, because you're like, you have this magic wand in your head, and you're like, okay, all the senators are gone, all the House of Representatives.
No, I don't have a magic wand.
But in your head, though, is what your thing is that's how you solve it. But where's the real solution of like? So you're going to tell me that all the politicians that are corrupt are going to get out, and we're going to hire or elect real good ones, when in fact that. Have you ever had a real politician? Because no matter what,
in my lifetime, no.
Where you start, even if you start at the city council, you have great intentions. You get more and more corrupt as you go because there's too many people out, the negative influences around you, I think, that are going to lead you corrupt.
So I was a part of something that happened. The first time I ever saw the American. I don't even know how to put it, the political system at work. The way that I feel, the way I was raised to believe the American political system is supposed to work.
Yep.
So where I own my house, it's in the town of Belgium. Okay. Now, for years, the Random Lake Fire Department was called on the, so it's literally, the town is called Decatur. It's an unincorporated town, and it's literally on the Ozaukee and Sheboygan County line.
Okay.
So one side of the street, Highway K, is Sheboygan County. The other side is Ozaukee County.
Okay.
All right. The one side is Random Lake, which is in Sheboygan County.
Okay.
Address.
Yep.
The other side is Belgium.
Which is Ozaukee. Okay.
It's a little screwy, but all one town.
Kiel's the kind of same way with Sheboygan and Manitowoc, I think.
So, unbeknownst to those of us in Decatur, both Sheboygan and Ozaukee County side, which the Belgium side, Ozaukee County side, would have been the only ones to really get any type of notice because it's the town and they should go to those town meetings and stuff. They made a major change on who comes to an emergency.
Yep.
Random Lake is much closer to Decatur than Belgium is.
Okay.
All over $2,000. All right. So this is a fight between the Random Lake Fire Department and the town of Belgium. Because the town of Belgium pays the Random Lake Fire Department $2,000 for their services.
To help take care of
Right.
Decatur so they don't
now,
have to worry.
whether or not it's Random Lake or Belgium Fire Department coming to Decatur, that $2,000 is still taken out of the town of Belgium budget to go to one of the two fire departments. Okay? So they're still spending $2,000 either way. All right? You get what I'm saying?
I get that. Yeah.
They're both volunteer fire
I did
departments, by
I
the
did
way.
think about it. Yeah, you're right. Because either they're going to pay their own people $2,000 or they're going to pay somebody else $2,000.
Right. And again, it's a volunteer fire department, so it's not going back into the town. It's just going
Upkeep
to...
and...
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Random Lake Fire Department contacts the people on the Ozaukee County line saying, just so you know, this is happening. I don't know if you know this. None of us knew this was happening. They were
So Belgium basically said, we're not giving you the $2,000 anymore.
They basically said, we're done with your services after January 1st of what it was, 2016.
Sure. Oh, so a year ago.
Right. And no one was told about this.
Okay.
They did it in closed door type sessions, and I'm not making this up.
Okay.
It was literally, they would send out messages, saying this is when the meeting is, this is the itinerary on the meeting. So once we caught wind of this, guess what? We all showed up at the next town meeting and started asking questions.
Yep.
Turns out the decision was already made.
As you do.
Yep. Decision was already made. So we needed to get petitions. We needed to get all this stuff. And we did it. We rallied, got the troops together, and we went back, and we got it changed.
Okay.
Which, for me, I went back home, and I was like, wow, this is how America's supposed to work. And I know it's a very small town setting, but for me, it was the first time in my existence, my 30 years of living on this earth, 29 at the time, that I had found out that this is what America...
Your voice mattered.
My voice mattered, So I guess that kind of, stung me in the ass a little bit too. Like, why can't this be on a national stage like this?
Well...
Because
I don't want to be a hater of everything, but two things.
That's fine.
The one would be, it's such a small town, and $2,000 or it seems like an easy win for that one, right? It seems pretty cut and dry.
It seems cut and dry
Okay,
on
right.
the outside, but in the meetings, you should have been there. Like these guys up front, I don't think they've been reelected because they were very, just closed-minded. The fact that people started showing up to these meetings, they were like totally taken aback.
Oh,
like,
sure.
are you serious right now? And